When you first launch your business, everything feels new and shiny and exciting, but also slightly terrifying and overwhelming because you don't know anything yet about how to grow a business. But when you learn the right skills to drive growth and you start to see the results of your efforts and you feel more in control of your outcome, that's where the confidence comes in. I love sharing these stories of growth and transformation. And today I have a really impressive one to share with you. Shayna Stalker is the founder of the Waste Free Home, which is a New Zealand based e commerce store selling really beautiful, high quality, eco friendly products for the home. And in the last 6 months, Shayna has grown her business by more than double. Plus, she's been able to work on designing and producing a really exciting new range of her own products. And on top of that rapid growth, Shayna has also mastered a bunch of new skills and has a new, much deeper understanding of what drives her business growth, which is incredibly empowering. So tune in to hear Shayna's story. Welcome to the show, Shayna. It's really great to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, super exciting. So I want to begin. Well, let's begin at the beginning and introduce yourself and your business with our audience.
Okay, so my name is Shayna. I have a business called the Waste Free Home. We're an e-commerce store. We sell high quality, low waste products that very utilitarian products, very functional for your home, but beautiful products.
Yeah.
Products that aren't just made from plastic and you're going to chuck in the bin, like you're going to look after them.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
aesthetically beautiful too. I mean, you do such a
yeah.
brilliant job of curating that collection.
Yeah, thank you. That like it's just nice to have those nice products around your home. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, regardless of whether someone is out there looking to specifically choose something that's low waste or eco-friendly or not, I mean, you want to have something that works well, does what it is supposed to do, and it looks good.
Yeah, definitely. I find that people really want to look after their stuff as well. Like they've spent the money on something that's quality, like they want to look after it and
Hmm.
care for it, even if it is just a functional home product. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, totally. So, how did you get into this business? What was your background beforehand?
Well, I did design at uni and then I worked in advertising in a studio.
Yeah.
And then from that, I'm very kind of I like to be very organized. So I moved into production. I was head of production until I had my children. And my husband and I talked a lot about starting up our own business and stuff. And after I had the kids, I really didn't want to go back to work full time and the kind of the hours that I was doing. So we actually looked at buying a business, and then my husband was like, "Well, you could actually just do this yourself, like start something up yourself that you're actually interested in."
Yeah.
So that's what we did. Just started really small. It worked around the kids, like it's grown as the kids have grown.
Mm.
Um, I think my youngest was probably about a year when we launched. I think,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Do you know,
yeah.
I didn't actually realize that you and I had such a similar background working in advertising and design.
Yeah, yeah, it's a great background. So my husband's also from advertising, so he's a writer, which is very handy for me. I
Extremely
can just,
handy. And you're the
I,
design aesthetic.
yeah, and I can just garbage out anything, like brain dump, and send stuff to him to fix up. And he knows my tone of voice and
Yeah.
knows how to decipher what I'm trying to say. So
Yeah.
handy, very handy.
Yeah. And, I guess with writing promotional content for the digital medium,
Mm,
we do need to be fairly short, sharp, and punchy with the copywriting, which is a bit of a
yeah,
skill.
it's
So,
yeah, it's hard. Yeah,
yeah.
very hard.
And remind me when you got started. What year was this with the Waste Free Home?
Oh, I think it was 2019. Yeah, 2019. We started mid-year, so we've been
Yeah.
going
So
for a
you'd been
little over
going
five
for
years.
less than 12 months when COVID hit.
Yes.
Surprise.
Yeah. So that was fun trying
Yeah.
to work at nighttime or around the kids and stuff. Or yeah, it's
Yeah.
all right. We got through it. But we were,
Outstanding.
yeah, we were in Auckland when all that was happening, and we had such severe lockdowns in New Zealand
Did, yeah.
and in Auckland. So yeah, it was a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So tell me about the early days before COVID hit, but when you were maybe right before launching and then what you did to actually get things moving in the business.
Um. So I remember um my husband was like, "You need to write a business plan." I was like, "Okay." So I Googled how to write a business plan and downloaded a template and gave it to him. I think I put notes in it, and then I was like, "Now expand on this for me." Um, um, and I remember him sitting on the floor writing out the business plan. And our youngest, our little one, was sticking stickers all over his face while he was writing it. Just just standard. Um, And then we just started really small. I think we had a certain amount of money in savings. I was like, I'll just use that and we'll just start from there, just
Yeah.
grow it really slowly. And yeah, we launched and it just kind of like crept off and it was going really slowly. And everyone's like, oh, you just need to work on your brand and keep at it. And I was like, no, I actually need to make some sales.
Mm,
So I didn't listen to any of the advice and I started doing Google shopping.
yes.
And that really worked, obviously, because then
Yeah.
people could type in what they wanted and
Yeah.
find us. And
Funny
that
about
was,
that.
yeah. And so that was actually a really good, a little push. So people could find us and would
Yeah.
start making sales. And any profit we'd use, I just used to kind of extend the range that we had. Like we just started off tiny, like the product was literally all in like my son's wardrobe.
Yeah.
And then I'd pack stuff at the kitchen table.
Yeah.
And it just kind of grew and grew
Yeah.
from there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly grown a lot more since that point in time now.
Yeah, definitely.
But like aside from Google Ads, and I mean, you went straight onto Shopify, I think, right from the start, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So what else did you do just to try and get the word out?
We did do like Facebook and Instagram ads, just more kind of retargeting ads, but that was it. But for a long time, I was working with a little digital agency, just really trying to push them to push me to
Mm.
see to try and do more to grow. I was willing to spend the money, but they didn't want my. I don't know. They just said we're at a good spot. It's fine, but I really wanted.
You wanted more.
I wanted more. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, can you think back to that period of time, say in the first 12 months? Were there any early wins that really kind of encouraged you?
Such little things that were encouraging for me. Like I'd stock a certain product, and people were like, "Oh, okay, that's interesting product," but then actually would sell really well.
Yeah.
And then also, I got a few suppliers who approved me. So one of them was Redecca, who wouldn't supply to anybody but physical stores at bricks and mortar. And they said, we don't actually do e-commerce stores, but let us know when your website's up and we'll decide from there.
Hmm.
Same with Bagu. They decided based on the website. So once it was launched, they both approved, and so I could buy stock from there. And the Redecca range was a really core range for us. It's really beautiful. It's all kind of wooden and handmade, and yeah, and just having that brand there kind of made us feel a lot more kind of higher end, I suppose.
Mm.
Like they were really beautiful products, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah. And then other people would look at a website and be like, okay, yes, well, we'll stock with you too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that
The
was a really good one in
credibility
the beginning.
of having those two brands already gave you credibility and
Yeah.
To other suppliers as well.
Yeah. So many suppliers as well will ask who else you stock.
Mm,
Like, what other brands do you stock in your store to see if they kind of fit in there? So it's really, yeah, it was really handy. It was really great that they
mm.
took us on board. Mm.
Yeah. I would say, from my experience of having been brand owners over the years, that,
Mm.
for you coming out as a new business, um, to win those accounts would have come down to your own branding and how well you really presented the waste-free home.
Yeah, I think so. Even though, like, I look back at like the initial website now, I'm like, oh God, that was awful. But it, but like, well, like 5 years ago, now I look at it, I'm like, oh my goodness. But
Yeah.
it was fine, and at that time, it was good. Like, I've always kind of been working on it to try and
Yeah.
make it better. But
Yeah.
yeah, a lot changes in 5 years.
It sure does in internet land,
Yeah,
is for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
So it's been about 5 years in business now, and I know that nothing is smooth sailing and easy all of the time. But what would you say
mm,
are maybe two or three of the really big challenges that you've had to deal with outside of COVID? I mean, I think we've all gotten a bit
yeah.
to
Um, so cash flow, obviously everyone says it, but it's really difficult. Like, you want to get in new products because you can't sell what you don't have, but if you don't have the money to buy the product, it's very hard. Um, Cash flow has always been really hard, and time. So obviously I for a long time I've worked in the business alone, so I do everything. It's very hard to find the time to get down and do that really deep work, like just be able to sit at the computer and get stuff done for a day and really get focused.
Mm,
Um, and growth has been really difficult to acquire
mm,
because I didn't know how to do it. But so with cash flow, I just kind of bit the bullet and got a loan. And so my dad was really encouraging. He's like, you need to get a loan. He keeps saying you can't sell what you don't have, and I know that you have to pay interest on a loan, but it just really kind of helped to accelerate things
yeah,
and for us to be able to do a few more exciting things this year that I wanted to do.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, and also taking on my sister
yeah,
has now come to work. We work together, and so she just helps so much and just frees up so much of my time. And I couldn't really afford her at the beginning, but just getting her in just to take the even just packing orders away from me meant that I had more time to actually work on the business instead of in the business, which
mm,
itself was meaning we could make more money and then I could afford to have it in it. Yeah, it's just been great. Even just having someone here to like bounce stuff off and ideas. I've got this idea, or do you like this, or I've got these two designs. Which one do you like?
yeah.
Just to have that person instead of just me and asking Google questions all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely. And obviously, in terms of being able to learn how to drive the growth, you came across my radar at some point. So
yeah,
that's
yeah. And
really fun working together.
I have listened to your podcast for ages and I've wanted to do something. So I finally convinced my husband. I was like, I really want to grow the business. And I kind of know what I need to do. I don't know how. And every time I sit down, I'll try and plan it out myself. I couldn't figure out all those little steps or
Yeah,
what to do first, or
yeah,
I'd figure out what to do. And there were so many steps beforehand, I'd just get overwhelmed and there's no one really holding me accountable. And I was like, oh, I don't know, I'll do something
yeah,
else.
yeah, yeah,
Um, so yeah, so I bit the bullet and signed up, and it's
yeah.
been
Was it been
great.
months or something? I can't remember now. About six
I
months?
can't remember. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
And just having that someone to not just help you with what to do, and just holding you accountable was great. And
mm.
obviously, just like guiding me through all the steps all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
For context for listeners, I recall when Shayna started with us, we started prioritizing the website first, which
Mm,
like I said, it wasn't a bad website at all, but there's always room for improvement with websites. I
yeah.
think you were, am I right in recalling that you were needing to upgrade to Shopify 2.0, and that's why
Yeah.
at first? Yeah.
Yeah. There were so many functionalities I couldn't implement because it was still on the original Shopify. So I just had to rebuild it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you just dived in, you rolled up your sleeves, you dived
Yeah.
it down fast, got that done. And it made
Yeah.
a really noticeable difference just doing that. Like we weren't tackling traffic yet or any of the other marketing.
No. So like I wasn't even like doing formatting every single product page. I was just trying to get the whole thing the working properly and just
Yeah.
getting it live.
Yeah.
And yeah, but also trying to implement as much SEO along the way when I could. Yeah, it made a huge difference to
Mm.
do that. And
Yeah.
just it was the school holidays. I shipped the kids off to Nana and Papa and just worked a lot. But yeah, it was very much worth it.
Which I think you're doing today too.
Yes, I am. They have gone. Gonna have a few solid days of working in the holidays because the rest of it will be off.
Yeah, no, that's good. Um, how have you found taking on learning some of the other growth related strategies? I mean, just share your experience of that learning journey, because I know previously you had been outsourcing like ad management and stuff
Mm,
like that. And now, of course, you're doing it yourself and you've learned.
yeah, yeah. So it's been great. I love to know the ins and outs and why stuff's happening and the areas in which you can pull different strings to make stuff happen.
Mm,
I really wanted to push the advertising side of things with my last company, but I couldn't. I didn't know what to do myself. So just being able to have those kind of like the rap report, like these are the things you need to do, and being able to get my ads, like Facebook ads and Google ads, all set up, and I can go in and I can read them and I can see what's working and I can see what's not working,
mm,
and even just knowing what content to make and what goes where. Like I've always heard the top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. I would never have known what to put in what area
yeah.
at any point. Yeah, unless I had come along and done this course. Like I work with Sally a lot on the ads,
Mm,
and even yeah, and it's definitely overwhelming at first.
yeah.
Like the first couple of times, I was like, I don't remember any of that, but now, yeah, now it's good. I'm
Yeah.
getting
You
there.
learn by doing
Yeah,
it though, right? With some guidance.
yeah,
Like you've got training
definitely.
wheels and then
Yeah, but it's not someone doing it for me,
no.
and I'm not in control of it. Like I know what I'm doing now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and in control.
That's right. And feeling a little bit more in control as much as we can be about
Mm,
how much traffic you're getting so that you can get a little
yeah,
bit more predictability about the revenue side of things as well.
yeah, definitely. And like so, last month September, I didn't think we were going to hit the revenue goals, but we did just in the last day. And
Yeah.
it was just, yeah, I was adamant that we were not going to
Yeah. I know
the
you told me.
entire month. Yeah, I told everybody.
Yeah.
And then we did, and it was just like, firstly having that target there. So I was kind of hustling a little bit at the end, like what can I do to try and hit it, but also just knowing that the plan in place for this target is actually going to work or get pretty close to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was
Yeah.
really great.
It's really cool. Um, I don't know how much we're allowed to reveal just yet, but I know one of the
Mm,
reasons why we ended up setting some bigger targets for you was that you have been developing a new product range, which
yeah,
will be launched soon. You may or may not want to share
yeah.
what it is just yet.
Yeah, well, it's fine. It's a range of baskets. I've been teasing them, but that was huge for me because that's such a big risk, really, for a small business with not
Yeah.
much cash flow. Like there was a risk, but I knew there was a gap in the market, and I was just really scared to take that dive. And I remember saying to you, "This is my idea. Should I? Is it a good idea? Should I do it? There's a gap in the market. Just having that someone be confident in your idea and go, yes, it's a good idea. You should do it."
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have if it
Yeah.
wasn't for you saying yes, do it. Because
And you
it's a
can
risk.
do it.
Yeah, I can do it, and they did do it. And now there's a shipping container on a boat
Yeah.
arriving in a
Yeah.
month. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's just great to see all the things you plan out, and then they actually work.
Yeah.
And it's still quite surreal. Yeah.
It's a huge leap of faith, I know, to go ahead with something like that.
Yeah, definitely. And like I have these ideas, I was like, I'll do this. And then there's no one to kind of got like think through my idea with me and go, no, yes, this is a good idea.
Hmm.
Um, and so I can take that leap of faith and just
Yeah.
get on and do it. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah.
And
No,
also where it will lead. Mm.
exactly. That's right. Because it's opening up, it's going to open up another channel of revenue for you
Mm,
and, bring a lot of your existing customers back again and again.
yeah,
It's a really good
definitely.
time of year to be launching something new like this.
Yes. Very cutting it fine with Christmas, but we're doing what we can. All gonna hit all at the same time, but that's fine.
Yes. Well, I think this is a pretty common scenario with an early stage e-commerce business. It all seems to come
Yeah,
to the crunch in Q4. So,
yeah, definitely. But it's all I'm getting all on top of it now, and it's fine. Yeah, it's
yeah,
all
you're going to be fine.
organized.
You'll have it all organized. Exactly. Um,
Yeah.
Prior to kind of working on this, we were working on some of your earlier marketing, and I'd love you to share the Fab Slabs uh,
Mm,
marketing work that you did. So, obviously, as a reseller of other brands, one of the challenges, which of course, compounds with cash flow and product range and all the rest of it, is margins. But this was a product
mm,
that had better margins. And so, you put together a bit more comprehensive marketing around that range from
yeah.
landing page on. You want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we needed the money to try and get our deposit for our first shipping container basket. So Fab Slabs sold well. They were selling well. So we started um, thinking about bundles. There was an idea of like there needs to be something so we can push this product so we can try and get some cash for the baskets. And we came up with the idea of bundles and made my first landing page. And so now I just love to make a landing page.
Yeah.
um, so did the Fab Slaves landing page, made bundles for people. So we had a kitchen to table set, which was like prepping chopping boards and then serving chopping boards. We've got the prep set, which is just your set for the kitchen, and a few other sets. And
Like
they
low,
just
medium, and
sold,
higher priced bundles.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's all sorts of different bundles, and they give people obviously a decent discount for buying more, but they just have gone really, really well. They've been really successful. People really not only love the product, but like just to be able to buy them as a bundle and get a decent discount off them. Yeah, and so they've been amazing. And so I thought I'd just do one big shipment of them, and now we're on to our next pallet is landing soon for
Yeah.
Christmas because we were not going to have any left for Christmas. We'd sold out
Yeah.
of the majority of them. So
Yeah.
and my sister was like, "Are you getting any more for Christmas?" I was like, "Oh no, probably a good idea. Probably should do that right now."
That's it.
Yeah, it wasn't on my radar. I did not think that they'd sell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not think we'd sell out before Christmas, but we
Yeah.
did.
Outside of that Fab Slabs campaign that you pull together, what would be like one or two other things that have really shifted the needle so far in this last few months for you?
Um, Obviously, like the website overhaul, getting my ads working, putting more money behind advertising, really working on the content that we're putting up for Facebook and stuff. And I talked to you about this the other day, and there was a name for it, a Japanese name, but just that 1% every single day.
Yeah, Kaizen.
Kaizen, yeah. So
Yeah.
like 1% every day. And it's like even working through our rep reports that we get, but just doing something that you know is going to be good, thinking of maybe different bundles for people, thinking of, oh, I need to go out and email all our corporates and businesses because Christmas is coming up and actually they need to get the orders in now, or just every day working on a bit of SEO on the business. So if I go and update inventory, I'll just check that that product page is set up for the keywords that it needs to be found, make sure it's all looking good on the website, just make sure our meta titles and stuff are working. Like it's always, there's always something to do every day, a little bit.
Hmm.
And I know Karen asked me in a meeting, like, oh, you smashed your targets this month. What was it that changed it? And I was like, I don't know, but also everything, like
Mm.
everything just kind of coming together and just that constant 1% every day I try to,
Yeah,
yeah, which really adds up.
it does. The compound interest on
Yeah.
that is huge
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah. But also knowing what things to do that are actually going to make a difference.
The needle. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's been really key.
Yeah. One thing I'd love to add to what you said and compliment you is you've taken on looking at the data and the metrics and
Mm,
getting your head around that side of things because it can be a challenge for a lot of creative people to want to
mm.
spend too much time in that space.
Yeah. It honestly, when I first looked at it, I didn't think I'd ever really understand it. Like I'd just smile and nod. Like, yes, it's okay. I get it. But now, as you start going on, I do understand it. But
Yeah,
I find it really interesting now,
good.
which yeah, which is good. And I love looking at where the traffic's coming from and what's working well this month and why is that working well this month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
encouraging when you see that and you can go, okay, well, I can double down and do a bit more of that. Or if you see
Mm,
something decline in one metric area, it's like, okay, what do I need to go and fix that? And
yeah.
yeah, it helps enormously.
Yeah, definitely. And it is like there are still some spreadsheets I look at and I'm like, I'm I'll figure that one out another
Not
day.
quite there
But
yet on that
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. Like there are some, but generally I'm getting the hang of that stuff, and that's yeah,
Yeah,
it's really good. It's good to know. I like to know why something is working or why stuff isn't working. It's
yeah,
really important. Yeah.
yeah. I think for me, getting my head around all of that stuff, the data and the metrics and the tracking over the
Mm,
years has just really given me a lot of confidence. And, I think back
yeah.
in my early days as well. And I think anyone who's never had a business before, you go into owning a business and it's like everything's obscure
Yeah.
and, unclear about what actually makes things, what are the drivers, what makes things work
Mm,
in this kind of a business model. And so you don't have much confidence when you're in that kind of headspace. But then when you do learn and you master these things, then you
mm.
have a lot more confidence. So
Yeah. Like I remember going to my eyebrow lady and she has a like a retail store for all her eyebrow stuff. And
yeah,
was like, I've got a really great Excel document I'm going to send you. So
yeah,
it's like if you're getting your product from the States or something, you can put in the US prices and it will spit out your New Zealand recommended retail prices. And I was like, oh, now I'm exchanging Excel sheets with people. I even made up an Excel spreadsheet for my brother-in-law yesterday for his quoting.
goodness, that's so good.
Yeah, it's very important now.
Yeah. Oh dear. I want to ask you. a few more questions. And,
Hmm.
so it's been a bit of a journey over 5 years. A lot has
Mm,
changed and grown in the business, but also yourself with your skills and knowledge
mm.
and all of that kind of stuff. So if you reflect back on 2019, Shayna, what would you say to Shayna back then before you got started, based on what you know now?
Um, oh, I just to have that confidence in, I suppose, in my ability to make things happen. So as the business has gone on and I've seen that decisions I've made have worked, but I've been really slow to take up those things
Mhm.
because of lack of confidence or not wanting to take such a big risk. And the business has grown and it's only 5 years and it's been quite kind of organic in its growth and not too fast, especially with a young family growing.
Mm.
But yeah, just backing myself, I suppose, that these things, oh, they actually will work.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's really hard, especially just doing it by yourself.
it is.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
managing young children at home and all the rest of it. I mean, it is that juggle that so many of us are familiar with as well.
yeah, constant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
in in the 5 years so far, what would you say has been one of the best decisions that you've made?
Oh, definitely starting the course with you guys. Like, I just was so desperate for growth, and I
Yeah.
just didn't know. I just needed pointing in that right direction and people to be along on the journey with me and just being given the tools to do it. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, you've seen our growth over the last 6 months, and
Mm.
that's just what I wanted. I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be at this stage right now if I hadn't have joined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's been a thrill so far. I know there's a lot more to
Yeah.
come, but
Yeah. Yeah.
a
Yeah.
thrill. Yeah, super. I got one final question for you today, and I love to ask everyone this. And
Mm.
why do you love being a business owner? If you could pinpoint it to one thing.
I really love that kind of sense of achievement and like you have done this and or I have done this and I have built this
Mm,
and it's working. Like it's such a to be able to achieve these things and see the stuff grow and stand back and look at where it's come is so great and it's such a so fulfilling. But also being able to do that with the flexibility of my children and
mm,
being able to have my time with them.
mm.
And it's not like, yeah, and so I do work a lot, but I can work around them and around their needs, and they can be home when they're sick. And
Yeah,
yeah, and so, yeah, but also just having, yeah, just that sense of achievement's really great.
it is. It's pretty fulfilling.
Feels good.
Yeah,
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 yeah, definitely.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
you've created value for your audience and your customer base with the Waste Free Home, and
thank you.
that's rewarding you in return. So,
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
yeah. So
Win-win.
win-win, exactly. Think that's how it works at the end of the day. I mean, I think, people who go into business just to make money for themselves, they all ultimately struggle a lot more than people who actually are going into it with the desire to create some value for other people. And, now you're
Yeah,
being rewarded because you have done that for your audience. So,
yeah,
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 it's a huge
yeah.
achievement.
Thank you.
And I know we have a lot of listeners in New Zealand. Where should people go to find out more about the Waste Free Home?
So we're online only. So it's thewastefreehome.co.nz.
Yeah,
That's where we are, or on Instagram at the Waste Free Home.
yeah, awesome.
Mm.
I'm going to share those links on our show notes page. I would encourage anyone to go and check out the Waste Free Home, beautiful website. Go and have a look at the social media and the ads and the emails and everything that Shane is doing because done a beautiful job. So congratulations on what you've achieved
Thank
so far.
you.
Lots of exciting stuff to come. And
Yes.
yeah, thank you for sharing your story with us today.
Thank you for having me.